Hey guys, thanks for coming back and joining us here at Salty Ginger Talk. Glad to have you back. We're going to revisit Stoicism today with a little bit different take on it. Look, I don't think Stoicism is gender specific. With that said, I do think that the principles of Stoicism and the target of Stoicism is generally skewed towards men. Doesn't mean that women can't get a lot of value out of it, but I really feel like Stoicism is a largely targeted at, and the thought process behind Stoicism is largely targeted at male behavior. Again, doesn't mean women can't get benefits out of it, but if you're going to build your life around Stoicism, I think mostly men would find it attractive. Now, with that said, there's a lot of attributes in Stoicism that create habits and attributes in men that women find very attractive. That's my pitch today to the men out there is to consider some of these attributes and habits to attract and or improve on the relationship you have with the woman in your life, whether that's your wife, your girlfriend, your daughters. That never underestimate as a father the impact that you have on your daughter's life. I'm fortunate that my wife has a great father and grew up with a great father, and she is strong and intelligent woman in no small part because of the relationship she has and the support she got from her father growing up. So think about it from all of those perspectives. And I think there's a great argument to be made that Stoicism has creates a lot of habits and attributes that women find attractive. So not only can it help you attract a woman, these behaviors, but can also strengthen your relationship with the women that are already in your life, whether you're already married or have a girlfriend or daughters or sisters or whatever. First, let's just cover a couple of things that I think should be fairly obvious, but for some reason in our society now, we want to pretend that they're not true. And I don't know why that is. I don't agree with it. I'll never agree with it. With that said, the thing where I think people go wrong is they think in absolutes. They think it either has to be this way or that way, and there's no middle ground, no gray area in the middle, and that's just false. But with that said, men and women are different. They just are. Always have been, always will be. Hardwired differently. Men generally look to women or for women to support, nurture, and validate them. I can tell you, I get tons of the value out of that from my wife, from my mom, from the other important women in my life. We're looking for someone to support us and say, "Hey, hang in there. You can get this done. You've got it." Um, that's what you're after. That's what you're looking for from the women in your life, basically, as a man. And then women are looking for men to provide, protect, and help them sort through their thoughts and feelings. A lot of times, my wife will just kind of ramble and get her thoughts out. And what I've asked her to do is say, "Hey, are you just venting, or are you looking for a solution? Because if you're just venting, totally got it. I don't need to suggest or provide a solution. But as a man, I'm generally results oriented. So if I hear what you're thinking about and I feel like there's a pretty straightforward, easy solution, I'm generally going to offer that up. Sometimes she doesn't want that. Sometimes she just wants to get it all out and sort through in her own head, and I'm cool with that too. It's helpful for me if she tells me that up front, as it makes it a lot easier for me to react in a way that's useful and helpful for her. And as my spouse of 30 plus years, I want good things for her. I want her to be happy. I want her to feel like she can talk to me about anything. That there's no topic that's off limits. There's no subject that's taboo. That I'm not going to get angry or make it difficult to approach me on specific topics or conversations. That's not always the easiest thing in the world to do, but in general, that's what women are looking for. They're looking for men to be an anchor that can support and kind of help tether them um, to really help them sort through the thoughts and feelings that they have in their heads. So, with that said, I feel like Stoicism provides a solid platform for men to build their lives around. And then one of the benefits of building your life around that platform is it does have many attributes that women find attractive. So we're going to talk through some of those today. So this isn't an inclusive list, and it doesn't mean it's only these things or just these things, but I think these are all pretty obvious when you look at the tenets and the principles and the approach of Stoicism. That these are things women will find attractive if you do them on a regular basis. So first one's health. Typically, if you're invested in controlling your emotions, showing discipline, showing self-control, you're going to have good physical and mental health. You're going to take the steps necessary to maintain good, strong physical and mental health. And as guys, I think a lot of men don't have other males that they can talk to with their problems. I can tell you where you don't want to go with your problems is to women. Um, just my opinion, but I don't think women can understand what it's like to be a man any more than a man can understand what it's like to be a woman. And I've always encouraged my wife to have strong relationships with women outside of our marriage, whether it be a sister, whether it be friends, whoever, whatever works for her. But I don't know what it's like to be a woman. I've never been a woman. I'm not ever going to be a woman, and I think it's important for her to have an outlet to go. But for men, you need an outlet for your physical and mental health in particular. Find someone you can talk to that's going through some of the same things you are, and I think that's terribly important. So, but you got to find men to do that with, and it doesn't make you soft. It doesn't make you weak. That men should support each other. Men should help each other out in those situations. So, Stoic men typically exhibit strong physical and mental health, and it's an attractive habit or attractive attributes for women. Number two is risk taking. So if you have confidence in who you are and what you're doing, you're going to be more apt to take risks and push the envelope. And women find that attractive. Um, it doesn't mean be crazy. It doesn't mean be stupid. That's kind of the opposite of being stoic. You put together a well thought out plan, a reasoned plan, and then attack that plan with vigor and intensity. Yeah, women are going to find that attractive. When you're really driving hard towards something, women find that focus and that purpose and that sense of accomplishment or pushing towards that sense of accomplishment attractive. They like men who can compete. They like men who can provide, and that risk taking kind of exhibits some of those behaviors. Third, endurance. Stoic men can endure hardship without complaint. And I think that's important. I always say that your job as a leader is to provide calm when there's storm all around you. So if you're not panicking, it makes it much more likely that others won't panic. If you panic, they look to you for guidance and leadership, and you're panicking, that's not good leadership. So Stoicism encourages that kind of strong, silent approach. And I think that's one, I think it's a good approach, and two, it's something that women will find attractive, knowing that they can count on you to be strong and you can push through hard stuff. That's attractive to women for sure. Independence. So Stoic men value independence, freedom, and self-reliance. I can tell you when things go wrong in my life, one of the first questions I ask myself is, how can I fix this? What can I do different to make this situation better or avoid this situation in the future or create a different outcome in the future? And that independence, that willingness to say, hey, follow me. I'll show the way. I'll find the way. I'm not quite sure where we're going, but we're going to find our way. We're going to get there. That independence is something women will find attractive, and they'll lean on you for that, and it'll attract more people into your circle. Living with integrity. Say only what you mean what you say, and live by those values. And that can be whatever. You'll attract the right people if you express your values and you're consistent with your values. And your values may be different than my values. Religion may be very important to you. I'm not a particularly religious person. I like competition. I think competition and gamifying things, always setting things up in a way that you're kind of competing with yourself, that you're trying to improve yourself. I think those things are very important. And then I try to be real, straightforward, and honest with people. And it's funny. I heard a quote. I can't remember where I heard it, but the truth is like poetry, and most people fucking hate poetry. Um, and trying to be honest and upfront with people and tell them the truth. The good thing about it is you don't have to remember what you said to this person or that person, because if you just tell the truth, you're saying the same thing to everybody over and over and over again. And that type of integrity and that type of willingness to have what many people consider difficult or challenging conversations and to take those situations head on in a productive and constructive way is super helpful. That doesn't mean just blasting people or spewing your own opinions. It means, being having a well thought out opinion and or analysis of a situation and being direct with people about it. So I think those are I think that's a really good way to think about it. Self control, physical, mental, and emotional. Like we talked about that a little bit around the health, but Stoics demonstrate self control. They don't let their temper get the best of them. They don't snap at people. They don't blame other people. If they do have to have a difficult conversation with people, they do it in a non emotional, constructive, fact based way versus blowing up at people and hammering them. Now, that doesn't mean that every once in a while that's not the right tool to pull out of the toolkit, because there are instances where I will use kind of that fire and brimstone rage to get what we need out of people. But for the most part, self control and demonstrating that self control is a much more powerful, it speaks much louder than actually raising your voice and yelling. So, those are things women will find attractive. I guarantee it. Empathy and understanding. So that, empathy is different than sympathy. Sympathy is feeling sorry for someone. Empathy is understanding or trying to understand their situation and what they're going through. You can be empathetic and not be sympathetic or soft towards other people, but really kind of acknowledging, hey, that's got to be really challenging. That's got to be really hard for you, to have gone through what you went through or to travel the road that you've traveled. I can't imagine what it must have been like to try to provide for your family when those things were going on, or to go out and go to work every day when you were struggling with these things at home personally. Having empathy towards other people and expressing empathy towards other people is definitely a great virtue of Stoicism. And again, that doesn't mean you're sympathetic towards them, and it doesn't mean you're soft or easy on them, but it means you're understanding of things they've gone through, and you factor that into how you deal with them. Appreciation of the present. I focus a lot on what's going on right now. I don't take a lot of pictures. I don't do a lot of. I'm not super. I don't keep mementos or those types of things. I try to. The only thing I have control over in my life is what's going on right now. Yesterday's already happened. I can't unring the bell. Tomorrow's going to come, and I can do things to prepare for tomorrow, and I think that's important to do. But the only thing you truly have control over is the moment that you're in right now. And so being in that moment and appreciating that moment. Sometimes, if I'm out with my wife or we're out going to dinner or whatever, I'll just say, I'm really having a good. It's really nice to be here with you. Really having a good time. Or you're my favorite person in the world. I'm glad we get this time together. Um, just those little comments really make someone feel valued. If I'm with one of my sons and we're doing something fun, I'll say, I'm really glad we got this time together. It means a lot to me. You don't have to be sappy about it. You don't have to be emotional about it. Just that statement. Look someone in the eye and tell them that you appreciate them, that you value being with them, that you value the time that you're spending together. Appreciating that in the moment you're in goes miles. Women will find it very attractive, I'm telling you. Resilience in adversity. We talked about this a little bit earlier, like around endurance, but when things get tough, you got to fight your way through. That's part of being a man. That just is what it is. And I used to play Rocky, the first Rocky movie, the scene where the fight goes to round 14 and Rocky finally gets knocked down. So they've been in this dog fight the whole night. Apollo finally knocks him down. Everybody in the arena, Rocky's manager, all of the fans that have been cheering for him, everyone's telling him, stay down, stay down. And he claws his way back up the ropes and he goes back and keeps fighting. Apollo can't believe it. His managers are like, oh, this is going to be brutal. He will not quit. Having that resilience in adversity, that's the biggest lesson you can have in life. People with grit, people with determination, people that are willing to do what it takes to win are the ones who win. It's really that simple. And that part of Stoicism and that attribute of Stoicism is something women will find very, very attractive. Continuous personal growth. So I think you got to be pushing yourself to always get better at something. That something can be personal, it can be professional, it can be physical, it can be emotional. Um, you got to find, you should always be focused on or pursuing something to make yourself better. I say it's okay to be happy, but it's not okay to be satisfied. If you find yourself satisfied, I think you got to kind of look around and say, hey, what is something that I can improve on? I know I've got a lot of things I could get better at. I'm going to pick one of those things and go after it. Doesn't need to be a big thing. It can be a small thing. It can be a big thing. If you've got a big thing that you want to focus on, that's great. But that continuous personal growth, there's no substitute for pushing yourself to get better all the time. Um, and I get it. It can be tiring. It can be exhausting. And I'm not perfect at it. There's times where I fall off and slack, and I got to kind of kick my own ass and say, hey, get going. You're wasting time. You should be doing more than you are. You should be doing better than you are. But that continuous personal growth and continuous self improvement, so valuable to everybody on the face of the earth. And women will be attracted to you if you're always pushing for those things. If you're always, hey, what can we do better? What can we focus on? How can we make this better? How can we get after that a little bit better? Women will find that very attractive. And then the last one, and in my mind, the most important one is authenticity. Just be yourself. You don't have to be anyone that you're not. And so if you're yourself, if you're genuine with people, if you don't lie about who you are, if you don't put on a front, if you don't put on airs and try to pretend that you're someone that you're not, you'll go a long way towards winning over people and influencing them and bringing them into your circle. You don't have to be loud. You don't have to be a cheerleader. You don't have to be outwardly tough. If you just are who you are, people will appreciate you for that. And people can tell when you're being authentic, and people can tell when you're being fake. So don't fake stuff, because you're not fooling anybody. People will see right through it. So those are some attributes I wanted to talk about. Stoicism, a great approach to life. Keep control of yourself. Keep control of your emotions. Keep control of what you have control over, and do not worry or think about things you don't have control over. It's actually that part of stoicism that I think most people find a challenge with. Only focus on things you can control. If you don't have control over it, do not waste time or energy thinking about it, worrying about it, stressing about it, trying to impact it, because you can't control it by definition. So if you go through these list of attributes, I think if you focus on one of these things a month and kind of keep cycling through, you'll be amazed at how attractive you are to women if you're a man looking at stoicism. So yeah, that's our those are our thoughts for the day. That's our episode for today. Really appreciate you guys coming back and checking us out. Don't forget to go over to our website, saltygingertalk.com. All our content is there. All our podcast episodes are there. You can sign up for our newsletter on our website. And don't forget to like and subscribe to our podcast on whatever platform you find it on. So thanks a lot for joining us, guys. Really appreciate your support. Everybody have a great week. We'll see you next time.